Hello everyone, my name is Jongton and I am a member of Youth Cultural Corps. So today I'm going to tell you about this particular palace called Gyeongju. Next. So this is first. This picture is the picture of the capital of Joseon, Hanyang. So as you can see, there are total 5 palaces in Hanyang, and Gyeongju is the biggest, and it's the main palace of among these 5 palaces. Yeah, and next. So Gyeongju was built in 1392 by the first king of Joseon, Lee Seong-gye. So as you can see, this is the main this was the original building of Gyeongju Palace, and as you can see, there are a lot of buildings inside this palace. In 1592, Gyeongju Palace was destroyed by Japanese after the Japanese invasion, and in 1865 it was later restored by Prince Regent Hungseon, which was father of the 26th King Gojong. Yeah. So this, as I told you, this is the original palace of. So this is the original Gyeongju Palace, and this is actually 7 times bigger than the Gyeongju building that is right now. So the Korean government is trying to restore most of these buildings by 2015. Yeah. So this picture is a picture of Gyeongju Palace during the Japanese colonization in 1910 to 1945. So as you can see, this is very different from the building that we can see right now. Right here, we can see a very big building, Western style building, and this is the Japanese Government General of Joseon. So as you can see, a lot of parts of the Gyeongju Palace is destroyed. It was destroyed. However, right now we are restoring, and this is the Gyeongju Palace that we can see right now. Yeah. So right now there are very tall buildings and skyscrapers that are along this huge road. However, during Joseon time, in the past, there were a lot of buildings that were lining up to this huge street called Yukjomari, and a lot of major departments were actually next to this street. Yeah. So this is the main gate of Gyeongju Palace. It is located on the south side of the palace, and as you can see, there are 3 big gates that you can go through to enter the palace. And on the middle, the king usually walked, and on the side, usually military and civil officials had walked, and also the prince and princesses of the royal family. So now I'll tell you a little bit about this figure of an animal, and this animal is actually an imaginary animal. And this, as you can see, it looks like a bit like a tiger or something like some kind of mammal creature. And this animal is called Hichi, and this imaginary animal is believed to actually judge people's sins and if they are good or bad. So it was like a judgment. It was like an animal for judgment and also justice. Yeah. Now we have entered the palace, and this bridge is called Gyeongju, and this bridge has a lot of meaning. And first, it kind of symbolizes that the royal family's part and the royal family's area and the civil and common people's area is actually divided, and also at the same time connected through this bridge. And also there was actually water flowing under this bridge. However, right now it is blocked. But there used to be water that is flowing under the bridge, and they believe that after crossing this bridge, their soul and their mind is all cleaned up by the water. So now you are allowed to enter the place of an holy place where the royal families live. Yeah. And on the bridge, we can see that there are carvings of some animals. And this animal looks kind of like Hichi, but it is a different kind. And this animal is called Choluk, and they carved this imaginary animal on the bridge to actually catch some bad spirits that are flowing through this water. And they believe that these kind of imaginary animals are actually blocking the holy place, the kingdom, the palace, from all the bad spirits that are in the outside of the world. Yeah. Next. So, this place is the main building of Gyeongju Palace, and it is called Jongton. As you can see, it is the biggest building it is actually one of the biggest buildings in Gyeongju Palace. And in this palace, they usually had official ceremonies like king's coronation or some kind of official speech for from the king for the officials of the country. And yeah. So these rocks are called paksok, and these rocks are actually artificially made, and they were all tiled up on the ground. And the reason why they made all these kind of rocks so bumpy and so rough is because, as you can see, the palace itself is in the outside. So which means that so officials and kings are going to be affected by the weather, which means that when it is sunny and the sunlight is so bright, they have to and so bright and the floor is smooth. It means that the sunlight is going to be reflected by the floor, and it is going to hurt kings and officials' eyes. And also, when it's raining, it raining and the floor is smooth. It means that you have a high chance of slipping, and you're going to fall. However, because all these rocks are made rough and bumpy, you're going to prevent these kind of accidents. And also, there are small gaps between all these rocks, and when it's raining a lot, the water is going to flow through these gaps, and yeah, it is going to prevent flooding and all these kind of accidents. Yeah. Next. Right now we can see Samdo, and as you can see, the road is divided into 3 parts, and this is similar from what we have seen in the Gwanghwamun Palace, in Gwanghwamun Gate. And the same equation reacts the same, and on the middle, usually the king walks, and on the side, civil and military officials and prince and princesses will walk on the side. Next. And now these are called pungesok, and these are the ranking stones and these are also called ranking stones. And as you can see, there are Chinese characters carved on these rocks, and these Chinese characters means the ranks of civil and military officials. So when the king is having an official speech for the officials are going to stand next to these rocks. And if you are standing close to the king, it means that you are higher in the rank. And if you are standing farther, it means that you have a lower rank. Yeah. So this pot is called tumu, and they're used to have water filled in this big pot, and they believe that this pot is going to prevent fire spirits from coming into the palace and burning all the buildings down. So basically what they have thought during the Joseon dynasty is that they believe that fire spirits are very ugly. So when they see their reflections their reflections reflecting from these waters. From the water, they thought that they were going to be scared and afraid of their own reflection, and they are going to run away. However, And when there was an actual fire, they will use the water from this tumu, and they are going to put the fire out. And also, these waters were actually used for making patju, which is a red bean soup during the coldest day in the year. So in Korea we have a culture of eating these red bean soups in the coldest day of the year, and that day is called Dongji. Yeah. Next.